Hello there and welcome to Top Channel 111. So yesterday we made this scene in Blender live on the YouTube channel, and so we made a snowy crime scene, and this tutorial I want to show you how we made the snow in a shorter form video if you don't want to watch the full live stream. So yeah, this is what we're going to do, mostly the snow because we have already made the scene, and if you want to check out the full render, the final render, and maybe even give me some critiques or pointers or suggest what we could do in the next live stream, you can go to Instagram/topchannel111 and share your information there or share your comments there. You can see we also did a few other things. All these renders we did live on the live stream. So yeah, you can check them out, comment or critique, and just so we can improve. Yeah, so anyway, for this, let's see how we can do the snow scene. And so this is the scene. We did all of this in the live stream. You can see how things look. We have snow on the car. We have snow, everything. I think we can also I can also show you how to do the snow on the car. But the live stream has a more detailed version. So, and one thing, what we're going to be showing you in this tutorial is that the way we set up this snow is like if we have a ground like this, you can go to the sculpt mode and just sculpt in more. If I go out of this, you can even sculpt in more snow on the surface and if you can remove the snow, you can add snow, stuff like that. So let's see how to do that, to set up that. So let's start with a plane. Let's add a plane like this. I'm going to use my texture folders to import in a road texture, and if you don't have the textures folder, you can do it by just creating a new material and just importing the image texture you want. Load the image texture, go to the folder you have the textures and import them like that. I just do it with the texture folder because it's much faster. So the texture folder just brings all the folders that I want into Blender so that I don't have to do a lot of clicks. So for example, I can instead of doing all that, I can just come in here and search for road. Now that should give me all the road textures in my library. So let me get this, maybe this here, and just import it in as a texture. So let's come in here. Yeah, we have the road surface like that. Now let's also get some snow. I don't think I have snow in my folders. I don't have any snow, so let me just go snow. You can do procedure snow using a noise texture, but I'm for faster workflows, and procedure snow is really not that fast, and the difference isn't that big. So let's look for snow texture here. I think we either use this. Let's see. Yeah, I think we use this. Maybe this. Yeah, any of this would do, but I like this one, has some good detail, and it should come out very nicely. Let me put this in my billboard folder, and let me see, do I have the billboard folder? Yeah. Clear search, and now we should have the snow here. So I can also import that in. You can do the texture, shift A, texture, import texture, and go through that process if you don't have the textures folder add-on. If you want to get it, link is provided. So we have the texture. So we want to find a way to blend these two, and the way we're going to do this, we're going to use a height map. So right now our plane, let me just go here, turn on wireframe, doesn't have a lot of geometry. So what we can do, we can go to sculpt, turn on Dino Topo. So we add in some valleys and hills. So turn on that, and now we can sculpt this, and you can see we have some. So this is going to be the snowy area. So we can go out of this, and now we have that. We can shade smooth, and now we can create a mask, a height mask for this. Let's go back to material view here. And if you go to material view and you don't see the textures, That's because you need to UV unwrap the surface again, because if you use Dino Topo, it will mess up the UVs. So you have to unwrap again to be able to see the textures correctly, to have a good UV. So let's do a mask. We can use a texture coordinates. Now we want to separate the object coordinates. So let me add a convert separate XYZ, connect the object to the vector, and now we can see we have the Z coordinates give us that mask we want. So we can do a mixed setup. I want to separate the road material from the snow material, so I'm just going to create a new principal shader. So let me first set up the road here easily. Maybe even add a bump map, bump like that. And let me add a math node here. Yeah, so that's going to be our road. Now let's create the snow, separate. So for that, we're going to use this. Let me tile it a bit like that. And the great thing about the snow we picked is it's tileable, so that's good. Can use this as the roughness and as the bump. So that's good enough for snow. Now we just need to blend these two materials together. So I'll blend them like that. And we can use now our mask, this mask here, as the factor. So we don't have enough contrast, so I'm just going to add a color ramp here. Control the contrast. Let me see what's going on. Why am I not seeing this? Let's see how our mask looks. And this is the issue with working with Eevee. It's a bit slow at previewing things. Okay, why is my mask not showing? Okay, yeah. Oh, you can see the mask is working, but we need to make it more powerful. So I'm going to use a convert math node here before the color ramp, and I use the power operation. Let me switch to cycles because it's much faster at previewing nodes. I see that's working. So let me make sure I'm using cycles, the noise, and for the lighting, let me set up a quick sun sky texture point. Yeah, so see how that looks. But we want the opposite. We want the snow to be on the hills, and then so we just have to flip these around, and we have our snow like that. Now, if you want to make this more reflective, you can add a color mix RGB and make it more reflective, make the surface more reflective like that. Let's go back to Eevee because I want to show you how to add more snow. So with this, we can use this to control the amount of snow. And I also use this to control the amount of snow. And if you want to add more snow, you can go to scout mode And if you just sculpt, that also works, but you find that in areas where you don't have enough geometry, it's very hard to sculpt. Let me show you wireframe. You see, we don't have enough geometry here. Let's go back to layout. So if you try to sculpt this area, nothing happens. Only when we are in areas where there is enough geometry, that happens. So if you want to sculpt areas with less geometry, just make sure you have Dino Topo on, so that as you sculpt, the mesh is subdivided to add more geometry. But then the problem with that is that you lose your UV map if you use Dino Topo, so you need to go back in and unwrap so the textures can show. And I think we can make the snow a little the asphalt a little bit darker, so I'm going to add an RGB curve here, make it a bit darker so that the snow stands out like that. Now in some areas it seems a bit jagged. That's because there isn't enough geometry there, but you would want to, I wouldn't recommend adding a subdivision surface. You can use a smooth surface to try and smoothen things out like that, or just use more resolution when you're sculpting. Maybe another part we can do is show you how I made the car. Just a quick breakdown. If you want to watch the entire process, you can just go to watch the live stream. So the car, let's just wait for the shaders to compile. Okay, so the car is like this. You can see we have some dirt, and I think this was a mistake. It shouldn't have been dirt. It should also have been snow, because you're not going to find dirt in snow. So, but yeah, it's a good way to demonstrate how you can also do that as well, or do that. Anyway, so to do this, I also think I made a mistake here, because there is also snow on the inside, but that's okay. Let me just show you a breakdown of this snow. So the car itself is textured like this. It has clean textures like this. By the way, I got this car model from Sketchfab. So car model looks like this, clean with PBR textures. So I created a dirt texture in the same way you would create snow, just an image, and then add it, connect it to the bump, connect it to the roughness, and then I created a gradient mask, or a height mask from the same. It was from the normals, because I wanted to get the direction to have all faces pointing down to be black, like you see here, and faces pointing up to be white. So I used the separate X, Y, Z, and I got the Y axis. And then to change the position, I just added a math node with the add operation, so I can increase the distance, or I can increase the level of dirt or snow like that. And because the mask was too smooth, so snow wouldn't just be smooth linear like that, I created a noise mask, a noise texture like that, and mixed it with the the snow, or with the gradient, to break it up at the edges here. And if I add a color ramp for the contrast, you can see it breaks it even much further, making that edge more organic than linear. And that is the mask we used to mix the dirt and the car texture to get that and like that. So you can see, and I can still play with these controls. So if I move this down, I can move this down a bit, and I think that should be a bit darker. I think it's something like that. Then we needed snow, so I made snow in the same process like we did, just separating the. At this time I didn't use the object coordinates. I used normal and separated the Z to get basically the same mask as the noise. I added the noise texture to break that highlight down, and also added a color ramp to get that organic mask, and then blended the snow with the other two already blended textures or materials to get a mix of dirt, paint, and then snow. So you can see the snow is also inside, which is not something you'd expect. So to get rid of that, all you have to do is let's first go to select all the parts that are inside, or select all the parts that are outside. Actually, I think selecting the insides would just be much easier. You just have to select the interior bits. Let's give this a vertex color or vertex group. Let me see this face as well. So this is, there's no selecting this because it's part of the outside as well. So just for you can select the other parts later by yourself. I just want to show you for demonstration purposes. Then we can go to vertex paint. Make sure that you have the interior selected. You can include the dashboard and the steering, but I go to vertex paint, then turn on selected faces and paint those selected faces black using Shift K, and that will make sure that the interior is painted black like that. So then you can, we know our snow mask is this here. You can see the interior has snow, which is not what we want. So you can bring in our input vertex color we have just created, which is going to be a black and white mask of the interior, and you can use math node, convert math node to blend the two. And basically we're just going to subtract the interior from the mask. So you can use subtract like that, but we have done the inverse. So instead of subtracting the interior, we subtracted the outside because the outside is white, and usually you subtract white from black. So we need to invert this here, and that should subtract all the interior parts we have selected. Now maybe let's also add this steering wheel. So to that, so I'm just going to go back to vertex paint, selected, Shift K to add it. And you can see now it's no longer part of that. So I can bring this in as the new mask, and now we should not have any snow on the interior. So you can see that's what we have. We still have that because that will also need its own mask, and since we already have this mask created, we can also do the same. We can use it to subtract, but I'm not going to do that here. I'm running out of time, and I think I forgot to import the glass the glass which should be this here. So paste. Oh, if you're seeing some color in the mask there, make sure you turn on clamp so that you don't get that color bleeding in the mask. Let's see if that, yeah, like that. So that's how you do snow. You can also add it on the windshield and other things, but I'll leave that to you. So thank you for watching. If you want to get any of the add-ons that I use, how the textile folder, quick functions, everything, links provided in the description. I think in the next video, I'll show you how to make snow falling. Thank you.